The question that you said wasn't asked last night, which I think is the most important question. What do we do about this economy? Average wages have been declining since 1973.
Minimum wage.
The rich are getting richer. The poor are getting poorer. Working class is disappearing. Middle class is squeezed. Manufacturing jobs have gone away. Some are coming back, but they went away at $30 an hour. They're coming back at $15 or $16 an hour. How do we get this economy back to a place where we were in, I can't believe I'm saying this, in 1970, 1971, 1972?
Three things. One, we have to know what the engine of economic growth is. You know what it is? Small businesses, new businesses, family-owned businesses. I started out as a secretary in a 9-person real estate firm. My husband Frank started out driving a tow truck in a family-owned auto body shop. The truth is, most Americans start out the way we did. Small businesses create 2/3 of the new jobs. They employ half the people. We are crushing them. So when we crush small business, we're now destroying more than we're creating. For the first time in U.S. history, we're crushing opportunity. Point one. Point two.
How are we crushing small businesses?
Oh, the weight of a 75,000-page tax code, regulations that just keep pouring out of this government. Point two, crony capitalism is alive and well. And guess what? The bigger government gets, the more crony capitalism succeeds. There are only certain kinds of people who can make it when government becomes so big, so costly, so powerful. Guess who they are? The big, the wealthy, the well-connected, the powerful. The small, the powerless are getting crushed. And finally, we need to understand in the 21st century, we got to compete for every job, because any job, any money, any person can go anywhere. We're not competing for jobs anymore. We have the highest tax rate in the world. That's insanity. We have a regulatory environment that is crushing. President Obama just rolled out, as but one example, a set of EPA regulations. Didn't talk to anybody, didn't ask anybody. This is a lawless overreach. And guess what? They are going to crush jobs. They are going to increase the price of energy, which is important if you're trying to compete globally for jobs. We got to get small business going and growing again. We've got to break the stranglehold of a powerful government that is creating crony capitalism. One more little fact, Joe, for you to know. If you look at the states where liberal policies have been in place for the longest, California, just as an example, liberals have been in charge a long time. Guess what? 120-plus billionaires, good for them. The highest poverty rates in the nation. The exodus, the crushing of the middle class, the destruction of industry after industry after industry.
You know what you just described?
Wow.
My home state of Connecticut.
Yep. There you go. Or Illinois, or New York.
You know, everybody's focused, and I'm glad you brought this up, because California is having this problem that Connecticut's having. Everybody's focused on General Electric threatening to leave. Everybody's focused on Aetna threatening to leave. Small businesses are leaving.
Right.
A realtor told me the other day, 18 of her clients have put their houses on the market since the second massive tax increase was passed.
And let's also be honest, crony capitalism, what happens when big government, big labor, big business get together? Republicans and Democrats alike are guilty of this. It's why people are sick of politicians. So, you know, every election cycle we hear these great ideas for what we're going to do, and somehow they just never happen. Government has gotten bigger and bigger, more powerful for 50 years under Republicans and Democrats alike. It's why people are tired of it. Let's quit talking and actually solve some of this. It's why I say I think we need someone in the Oval Office who understands how the economy works, who understands how the world works and who's in it, who understands how bureaucracies work, how to cut them down to size, how to hold them accountable, and who understands technology, because technology is changing the world.
Kathleen.
Well, you're talking about doing some pretty dramatic things. I mean, once bureaucracies are in place, you know, they're very difficult to dismantle. So how do you actually go in? How do you sell this to the public? How do you go in and actually do this thing that you're talking about?
So, couple big levers that have to get pulled to hold a bureaucracy accountable and cut it down to size. First, we need to know where the money's being spent, zero-based budgeting. Secondly, we need to actually hold people accountable, which means we have to fire people when they don't do their jobs. Remember when the VA scandal hit? People were outraged, and a bill got passed in Congress in 3 short weeks, bipartisan bill. Oh, we can fire the top 400 senior executives. Great idea. They haven't fired anyone. But we need to be able to do that across the government. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to ask the American citizens citizens like you here, I'm going to go in the Oval Office in a weekly radio address. Please take out your smartphone. I want to ask you a couple questions. Do you think it's important that we know how your money is being spent? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. People will vote. We do that for the voice. Honestly, maybe we could do it for our government. Do you think we ought to be able to fire people if they don't do their jobs or they're watching pornography all day long? Press 1 for yes, 2 for no. Why is that important? Why is that important?
Hold on, let me tell you something. Willie Geist is an important part of the morning show team. And some people can be
Willie,
very efficient.
I get upset about this.
A bridge too far.
The point is this. Technology is a tool that can be used to re-engage citizens in the process of their government. And citizens will put pressure on politicians. Politicians respond to pressure.
Yeah.
So, given that pressure, they can pass bills. We've seen this. Let's go pass a bill for zero-based budgeting. So when I ask you all vote. 1 for yes, okay? Remember that.
1 for yes, everyone, okay? Carly Fiorina, thank you. Frank, I think we can toast to that, don't you think?
All right.
She's on a roll.